All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out there and in here. My name's Levi. I work here at Jack Straw Cultural Center, managing the artist residency programs. One of those is the New Media Gallery program, and Cassie and Ching-In have created this wonderful installation through that, and it's really wonderful for this event to be part of the Imagining Trans Futures Symposium as well. So thanks for making that connection, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to keep it short. I do need to thank the organizations that help make these things possible. City of Seattle Office of Arts and Culture, For Culture, King County Lodging Tax Fund, Washington State Arts Commission, National Endowment for the Arts, Arts Fund, Humanities Washington, and the Rainier Foundation, and individual contributors as well, which we greatly appreciate. And applications are currently available for the next year of the gallery program, as well as the artist support program. You can find out more about that at jackstraw.org and on our submittable page, which is just jackstraw.submittable.com. So anybody that does anything with sound should go there and check it out and come work with us. And with that, I will hand it over to Ching-In and Cassie.
Thank you so much, Levi.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being patient about the technical difficulties. We're really glad to be here. I'm Ching-In Chen.
And I'm Cassie Mira.
And we are going to talk about and show some excerpts of our project, Breathing in a Time of Disaster.
Take my mask off so I can speak into the mic better.
So this project began when we were living in Houston, Texas, and it has three threads for me and has different threads for Cassie. But the one that we share is living in Houston, first during the tax day floods, which happened in 2016, and then Hurricane Harvey in 2017. I grew up with severe asthma and kind of grew up having my family shuttle me to hospitals, struggling with breathing, but I always thought of it as an individual thing that impacted me and my family. But being in Houston during that time, I started thinking about breath in a larger way, as more connected to a wider community, thinking about air quality or air inequality, pollution. And I also, during that time, I was commuting on the most dangerous highway in the United States, from Houston to my job in Huntsville, Texas, which is where a lot of the prisons are, and where they do the death penalty in Texas. And I started feeling like this sense of doom, like I was going to get into an accident. And so one of the things that I searched out was a meditation space where I felt like I could breathe and settle more. So those are the three threads of where the project started for me.
My threads of connected to breath as well. And it started, I was raised in rural Wisconsin and did a lot of farm work. And my dad actually had a business that was buying and selling hay and straw to and from farmers. So I started working at a very young age, and it wasn't until my 20s that I realized I'd never breathed through my nose. Like, I didn't do that because it was all the dust and things like that. And I also rode on those same, or was driving with Ching-In to Sam Houston State University from Houston on that dangerous road. And in addition to the floods, when there was a very, very significant event that happened in Houston, which is pictured in this, our first flyer for the show that we had done down there. There were, in the shipping channel, there were these very large cylinders of petroleum products that are distillates of petroleum, and they caught on fire. It's like a field of 50 of them, and most of them burned. And this is what the sky looked like for days. Those aren't clouds, like those aren't normal clouds. That's all burning soot, and it laid over the city and settled pretty much everywhere. It was pretty um, frightening to think about all of those things burning. And I also have generalized anxiety disorder, but that manifested for me in that I forget to breathe. So whenever that's coming over me, I have to always go through this cycle of reminding myself to breathe, because I will stop breathing entirely. So
This flyer is from a show that we organized right before we left Houston in 2019. We'll talk about the process throughout the talk, because it started with writing. I'm a creative writer by training, and it just started with like experimental writing, and then I realized quickly on that I wanted to be in relation with other people in different ways. And Cassie and I were talking a lot, but beyond just the two of us. And so I started doing these performances where I would invite the audience to breathe with me, and Cassie would perform with me too. And so we want you to do this with us to open the talk. So this is where it started. This is now, and this is one of the first pieces, and it is about our time in Houston. So are folks down to breathe with me? So it's an invitation. So, choose what you want. But for me, the tilde is marked by a breath response, and that could be whatever you choose. I'm open to experimentation or improvisation, and so and it's something that I learn when I'm listening to whoever I'm in the room with, what they choose to do. I mean, so you can't really do it wrong. The only way you could do it wrong is by inputting, racist or homophobic or transphobic things into the room. And I also would love to invite the Zoom audience, if you want to unmute and also breathe with us. There are kind of two main streams in here. So I'll read one, and Cassie will read the other. And the only other thing I'll say is I see these pieces as multi-directional to be entered in multiple ways. So we're offering a version today, and it might be different if you come and visit us and you see the piece again. Ready? Okay. Breath for Guanyin. One, brought to pond. 10,000 steps a hum. Each cascade of yellow tile supported by sturdy red. One metal figure waiting on water. To quiet mind's battle.
metallic rain horde means fill your bathtub, cook all food, no water in grocery store, gas station line to empty, crush of leftover white cardboard boxes, floor length we unpacked, lift hot boxes higher, no bathing, no showering. Do we have an axe? A tight set of drawers in lungs.
Slow a breath for ritual smoke. Enter already breathing room. Each sewn seat in neat place. Open, late door, and friend a shoe on busy rack. $100 golden figures sitting in perch.
Considering attic, a man walks in front of watching window. No shoes we could second.
Each foot slowly, again. A message says to knock on Airbnb door, floor it.
Man or woman, man or woman. No other options at check-in, ladies or jocks. No time for questions. 11 size sneakers, pair of gray shorts, women's blouse. Children's shoes, what size? Line of eagers at distribution line all day. Rice University students writing orders. Fill big blue bags, sort through assembly walkers, toothbrushes, pillows, blankets, a hot commodity special line, form to write. Don't you Mr. Me. I see who wanted ladies' shoes, repeating request. I'm not a mister. I'm not a mister. And no response before turning away from line toward a line of beds. Volunteer supervisor, no time for questions. I write on post-it note, please, no assumptions. Please, respect. Please, no time for questions.
3. Friend said all the aunties chanting brought me green. I enter inflection, meaning mother, not horse, meaning guide, sits, sings, one sound, 4 meanings. Lesson from diverging mouth.
Chemical cloud pings, ping, a hot, rushing air, all bodies in yard humming, in mind. Thick infection in head.
Can't say I broke much, trying not to ingest 10,000 hurricane microbes. Let go, spider tendrils.
4. At the lost and found, eyeglasses, a credit card, note left at desk because no cell phone. Woman in wheelchair checks again about no cell phone. Cold boxed pizza. White-haired unshavens waded through waters wants help calling FEMA from Louisiana to Katrina. Lost bags maybe in last shelter. Lost daughter on or son back in LA. We roll through shelter names and phone number. I inhale smoke, dial disembodied numbers to receive.
Heart knows how to attach, how to cling where the ache, how to bring down rain. Why chant dead grandmothers into room, sister, in empty seat, how to attach. And other, a cook preparing food for hungry repentance.
Animal set loose in chest.
only one a believer.
5. When street drains, is there pressure in street?
All notes escaping injure to try not. Walk away from dead night. Throw arms to air. Hoping for birds to land. Exhume breath from body. Thank you. And thanks for breathing with us. This is from a breath course performance I did in Houston with some other folks who I was in a workshop with in diverse works. I just wanted to kind of show the evolution of this idea of a breath chorus, which came about through working in a workshop, a theatrical jazz workshop, with the artist Sharon Bridgeforth, who is really encouraging us to make work from the body and also use what's in the room and use improvisation. And so, so part of that work is to interact with the audience, and so thank you all. And then this idea grew into this process that was learned from community-based theater. I learned it from Cornerstone Theater Company, but Cassie and I, when we lived in Houston, also was involved in an arts organization that worked with a lot of folks in the South, and used this methodology as well, alternate roots, which is the story circle methodology. And the basic premise is that everyone tells a story, everyone shares equal time, and when that happens, the most important thing is listening and kind of holding that story, because it's a precious thing to hold and listen and witness someone else's story, and then by sharing without usually there's no talk back during the story. You're not chatting about someone's story, but you feel a sense of connection with those who you're in the story circle with, and then there might be an opportunity afterwards to see what are some of the larger things that come from that process. So,
and yeah, these are the 4 questions that we tend to ask when we run a story circle for breathing in a time of disaster. They're kind of a progression of questions that it's fairly easy for someone to tell a story to a group about their name. We've discovered in this process, and it's fascinating the depth and breadth of origin stories people have for what they like to be called versus what they were called in the past by different, or their name changes may have occurred multiple times, or they've kept the name that their parents gave them, and it's just fascinating to hear about that. And then we tend to connect that to the place with the next question. So self, and then connection to place, and then connection to breath after that, tends to become more intimate stories regarding health and environment and concerns about the future. And it's just this progression of questions has worked really well for helping facilitate the story circles that we've run.
and we'll can mention that the communities that we focused on and centered, because we're both from these communities, are BIPOC communities and trans, non-binary, gender creative communities. So we wanted to share 2 examples. These are just brief excerpts from story circles. This one is from a story circle that happened in Seattle. Actually, I was a Jack Straw Writers Fellow, and this Ariane True is someone who was in my cohort. So, and let's listen to the story.
How do we get it to play in room?
Oh, hold on 1 minute. Technical pause.
Do you want me to just play here for the
Yes, please.
people?
A happy little pile of disabilities and chronic illnesses, and some of them are related. I have multiple chemical sensitivities, so when I breathe in fragrances or chemicals, my central nervous system starts to shut down to varying degrees. Sometimes it
Oh, shoot. We did plan for this.
can be like a migraine. I lose motor function. If it's really bad, I can start to lose speech, and balance, and things like that. And I worked 3-4 years ago, briefly at the Seattle Public Library, at a branch where a lot of people wore fragrance things and where there were just
This is the slow internet problem. We did download them too.
like chemicals around and things like that. The library had
Okay, I'll play the.
Just play the.
and again, I think a lot about breath and balance and things like that. The library has unscented hand soap. It's like the only place in town that has unscented hand soap. So I can actually wash my hands there. But the patrons were wearing things. And I had to spend all my time out on the library floor, and I spent so much time holding my breath just at work, like walking past someone, just like trying not to breathe so I wouldn't get sick, because I didn't want to wear a mask all the time. This is where everyone wore a mask all the time, but I've had these for years. And between, my doctor thinks that like between that and then like all the bending and standing from that part of the job, that's what set off what is now like a very serious chronic illness for me that I'm managing like all the time. And how like having to manipulate my breath that way actually set off much worse health problems. And I'm still like navigating very difficult, even worse since I got COVID and recovered. And I haven't gotten better in like 4 months now. I have to think about my breath every time I leave the house, or every time someone comes into my house, or if I just want to open the window and people are doing laundry outside. I don't get to breathe, and it's really hard to not get to breathe pretty much anywhere I go. And even with people that are very close to me, I saw my family recently, and I still have to like one of my aunts was warning me like, oh, like she's wearing stuff, like make sure you hold your breath when you hug her. And just like not being able to like relax and breathe around like my family or some of my friends, because people don't always take it seriously or don't always want to act on it.
Okay. So that I'm gonna play another excerpt from Maddie Gaines. One of the groups that I have wanted to work with have been BIPOC students at my campus, UW. This is also a story circle from this area. And it's an excerpt.
Something tells me.
And again, I think a lot.
I think we might have to skip that one.
Oh, but you didn't download it?
No, the LinkedIn, the one that's linked in is wrong. I downloaded the one that was linked, and it's just Ariana again.
Oh, okay. All right, we will skip that one. But it is in the show if you want to go check it out.
So
Okay. So
so one of the things that we do with the story circles, we always get permission to share these stories from folks. We give everyone like the ability to opt out if they ended up sharing something that's too personal or too intimate. And when we were in Houston, we gave those stories to a group of artists who then made work in response to the stories that they heard. And then the work was presented in the first show. We did things a little differently in Seattle, where we actually recorded the story circles and invited everyone to contribute a ritual for the show.
And also a breath recording.
And then a breath recording, which this slide represents. Yeah.
And the reason we asked folks to contribute a ritual was because in Houston, a lot of folks ended up making rituals. One of the things that we were thinking about in Houston were thinking about inviting folks from different communities that were from the communities we mentioned that we were prioritizing, BIPOC communities and trans, non-binary, gender creative communities, and folks made like really different kinds of work, and we ended up putting on a show right before we moved away where we cleared out our whole house and then put up the work for one day, and then we did a performance at night from 6 to 9, and one of the Houston artists who is also in this show, actually we're going to play an excerpt, hopefully if it works, in a little bit, actually did documentation of the show, which is up on the wall, which you can see, just to get a taste of it. So for this show in Seattle, we wanted to take that ritual idea, and we ended up asking folks to record their name, what neighborhood they were from, and a minute of their breathing. And we went back and invited a lot of the artists we worked in Houston, as well as some folks who we wanted to work with, but didn't get to last time. And then we ended up collaborating with a sound artist, Judy Twett, who basically sonifies climate change data, and use the zip code information around air quality in each neighborhood to make these breath soundtracks. So we're gonna place, and then we also interviewed some environmental justice leaders and scientists to help give context to some of that work. So we're gonna play some of that, just a little taste for you, but you can go hear that in the multimedia gallery. So we're gonna play an example of a breath recording. This is one of my favorite ones from a Seattle community artist.
Is it playing?
I can hear it from here.
Okay, we're playing a second ago. I don't know why it's not playing. Okay. That's very strange. Yeah, it's not a volume thing, it's a codec
Sorry.
thing.
The folks on Zoom are hearing it, I think. So.
Okay.
Sorry.
Huh. Can you try, did you try playing it?
Hold on.
Okay, sorry. You'll see our back end archive.
This is the whole archive right here. Wait, what was the number? Everything's listed by zip code, so there it is.
That's the title.
I know. That's original. That's original. I need to sort. Oh, wait, you know what? Those are in this folder. I think it's this one.
That's very, very well.
Yeah. Okay. Is it this thing?
I was playing before.
I know.
Here. Sorry.
What is playing? Sorry about that. My computer is being very unruly right now.
Oh, welcome. Come in.
All right. So maybe we should move on to the next thing.
Okay, well, you can hear Atlas's intro in the intros of other folks in the room.
So the breath recordings. Let me just try one more time.
Okay.
From here. Let's see. That's the wrong one. It's not working.
Okay.
A beta.
Oh, that's the intro.
Okay.
That-
Whoa. And now, of course, it's too loud over here.
so you'll be able to hear. We're gonna play. There's an intro track for each, for Houston area and for Seattle area. We're gonna play the Houston area one.
Adara. My zip code is 77091. My name is Citlali Alvarez Armendariz. I use he and they pronouns, and I'm recording from the traditional lands of the Kurankura, Akokisa, within the Apache. Leslie Contreras Schwartz, Rice University in Houston, Texas.
My name is Cassie Mira, the one that's in the gallery, and I currently reside in Lake Forest Park.
My name is Ching-In, and I have lived in the 3rd Ward in Montrose in Houston and in Lake City.
My name is Melanie Peterson, and I live in Houston, Texas, in the East End. It's closer to Pasadena, as well as some of the other refinery areas of Texas.
And then we'll play you, and these are just little clips, so you can, if you're able, if you are in Seattle, you can go and listen to it in the room. Play you some of the zip code, the zip code files.
And one thing Judy let us know, it's not very apparent on the duration of each zip code varies, and it's fairly noticeable if you're paying attention that there are different lengths, and that was based on life expectancy. So the longer ones are from zip codes where people tend to live longer, and the air quality is better in those areas.
And 98125 and 98155 are 2 zip codes we've lived in this area.
So Hope these ones play.
What's up? Playing?
No, it's not playing.
You can hear a little.
It's, I don't know why they're not working.
Do you want to try 98155?
I'm gonna try it from this folder.
Okay.
98155. Those are in the organization system here. I really do.
Hmm.
I'm starting to think that I might need to restart my computer because the sound isn't working.
Okay, sorry, can we take a pause and try that?
Or do you want me to do that? Or we could just keep talking.
Well, but everything else is media based, so if you can't play
Yeah.
anything. Actually, do you want to go in the gallery and
Yeah.
do that thing in the
Why
gallery?
don't I just do that part right now?
Okay, but then don't you want to restart your computer?
Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna restart the computer, and we were gonna have a section where Cassie's gonna actually go into the gallery and zoom a little bit, just so you can see the setup, especially if you are not in Seattle. And she's also gonna restart her computer. Hopefully that will help.
It's very odd for it to not play a WAV file.
So, and we do have one thing for you all, if you want to do it, which would be to, if you want to think about your answer to any of those questions, you could write about it or you can think about it. So the questions are, tell a story about your name, tell a story about your breath and your environment, tell a story about a time you experienced healing of something painful or difficult, or tell a story about your breath. So roughly those questions, or breath and body, tell roughly those questions. So I'll leave that with you for now, and then we'll get a report back from the gallery. Although I'm realizing when she goes to the gallery, we can't see what she's doing. Hold on a second.
Yeah, the Zoomers will be able to see it.
Okay, so do y'all want to go in the gallery briefly? Okay, that's my suggestion.
Hi. So on this wall, we have the show that we were talking about in Houston. And this wall displays rituals that were submitted from Houston artists. And this wall displays rituals that were submitted from Seattle artists and community members. And then on the south wall, we have a few tables where there are access copies of the text when there isn't any text for people speaking. They're labeled by the zip codes. And there is an interface on the iPad that allows you to choose a zip code to listen to the things that are associated with that zip code. So right now we have Melanie Peterson's rituals playing on one screen, and Carol's Paseos on the Seattle side. And Carol's actually here. She's right there.
Energy derives from earth. Use its bones of your spine
So
to the top of your head. You can allow yourself to relax.
and the reason we're letting them overlap each other because the choral performance sometimes has very
Relax your face.
interesting juxtapositions between the two cities that often mirror each other, where we're creating a synchronicity between the south and the northern city of Seattle. And in that way, thinking about how our experience of climate change is connected.
Watching it travel down your throat.
I'm just gonna aim this
Into your
way.
belly. And then watching it release from your belly, your lungs, your throat. Reach your feet clearly. Stomach tears and finishes. Old stench travels down. Houston, Texas. It travels down your throat, your lungs. You can feel your belly. And one more time, we'll let it go, exhaling. Take a couple more breaths on our own. Noticing the breath, the air traveling through our bodies. Filling it with something new, nourishing. And as we exhale, we're releasing thoughts, air, stale air that we don't need anymore. One more times, inhaling and exhaling. And as you feel comfortable, bring your attention into your chest area. With your next inhale, feel your heart being filled with air, being filled with energy, possibly expanding, opening toward the sky, the ceiling, possibility. Let your attention rest there for a few moments. The light that can emanate from your heart. And through your breath, you can draw in whatever's in front of you. Softly, gently. And you're rooted, so you can hold it. But if it feels too intense, go back to your breath. A gentle inhale and exhales. Perhaps noticing your skin. How does that feel?
Yeah.
And if you're feeling engaged with your heart, allow it to shine. Allow that air to fill your chest. Just be in this space for a few more breaths. Feeling your heartbeat. Knowing that you're very grounded. But then inside your body, you can feel your energy, your heartbeat your blood, the air moving. And if any thoughts are drifting through your mind, just watch them and let them go.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So we're gonna head back to the other room. Oh, we can stay here? Okay.
Because I think the rest is just videos.
Okay. So never mind. We're mixing our messages. So I guess we're staying. Oh.
Slowly. Let's begin to bring our attention back towards.
Let me see if I can crop this out.
Deep inhales and exhales. Gently. Slowly. Begin to feel your seat. Perhaps be reminded of
So some of the rituals are videos,
the energy that has come through the earth,
some are
giving thanks or
recording,
recognizing
and some are poems.
those who have gone before us, ancestors, any deities.
That's probably backwards on Zoom.
Acknowledging this time that you've taken this pause. Focusing on your breath. Focusing on yourself. Focusing on this moment. And knowing that you always have this to come back to.
All right. Oh.
When you feel ready, begin to open your eyes. Gently. Maybe move your body a little, from side to side, some gentle twists. And as you come to and notice the room, you might just want to look slowly around the ground, center yourself. And know that this is always available to you.
So when there's just as a foot on there, this is Judy's recording that we were failing to play in the other room.
Abeda Adar. My zip code is 77091. Do I avoid public life? Breathing in a time of disaster. Do I become a hermit? Breathing in a time of disaster. Avoiding the public is what society wants. And becoming what society wants is not for me. I've been wearing this damn mask for too long, but it's what keeps me safe. Safe from acquiring respiratory illnesses. Safe from people seeing my whole identity. Safe from breathing in the poison air quality from the toxins of the Gulf Mist. Breathing in a time of disaster. It's time to go out and make money. Breathing in a time of disaster. I can't bring any illnesses home. Breathing in a time of disaster. No one gives a fuck anymore. My people, the land protectors, are arrested for prioritizing purpose. I can't help but continue being myself, but also protecting myself to the best of my abilities by masking against people's bad breath and COVID. I'm living in a new dystopian reality that I fetishize interest for. And now that it's here, I have the wardrobe for it, but my mentality can sometimes end up slipping. I'm trying to breathe in a time of disaster. as our new world emerges, and keeping those I love close to me as possible. They've been seen in these our words about climate so far. A stick of gum, I know we use so much for that. It's 9 p.m. I need to get ready for work again. It's the only thing I can do.
My name is Stephanie Sauda. I live in West Seattle, 98116. On a summer evening, I consider my body's relationship to land, and am provoked, jolted by thought. Dwarvish land, land morphed, land stolen, land I've barely endured. A friend recently told me to breathe is to respire, to replenish the spirit. Has my spirit been made to function as house? A partial existence. I attempt to make it work, drive out an hour or two. Have
Leslie Control Schwartz,
to an island,
Rice University
to a wedge of
in
little
Houston,
floor.
Texas.
Watch wet glistening ferns and moss. Behold unto them my ache, this endless longing to be filled.
Emily Pinckney, she, her, they, them. 98405 98121. I use he and they pronouns, and I'm recording from the traditional lands of the Kalakwa, Akalisa, within an action influence. I am also a resident of Northside, Houston.
My name is Atlas Cyrus Xochipilli Rodriguez Fernandez, and currently I live in the Central District. In the morning, I awake. Usually, I remember to say thank you for the fact that I woke up and I'm able to stand, even more so that my breath is still with me. It gets harder and harder as I allow engagements, preoccupations, fears, and worries to enter my attention. And then I remember that I'm not breathing. And that all that doesn't matter as much as it does to inhale. And exhale. I try and end my days with this same reminder, with this gratitude for my breath. Sometimes I forget. I always forget to thank myself. Too often I forget that I am my breath. I'm close though. I'll try again next time.
包子 Central District in Seattle.
So we're gonna pause there because there's actually hours of, you can sit for hours and not do the same thing more than once. And I don't know if folks from Zoom can hear me, but this is a archive that we're continually working on. So there'll be more things to come a week later. It won't be the same. So thank you all. We're gonna move back to the main room. Actually, I think we were for the rest of the artist talk, we had wanted to show you some of the videos. So you saw some of them in the space. And I think what we're gonna do now is I think we're gonna take a break, and I think folks are gonna share. Other folks are gonna share 5-minute excerpts of their work. So let's just take a break for
My name is Alia.
sorry, pause, okay. We're gonna take a break for 10 minutes and then we can gather back in that back room. And please help yourself to snacks and drinks. Thank you all. Thanks. And folks can stay here and watch things, but we're just pausing it for like the group.
Yeah, if you wanna,
Yeah, you can.
if you wanna play
choose
around
any
with the
zip code.
iPad, you can choose any
also-
zip code. There's over 6 hours worth of media in this exhibit right now. There's an error message on the screen that I need to clear. I'm so sorry about that, but
Yes.
and I'm gonna log off the Zoom on my phone.